What's up, YouTube? Welcome back for another NFL recap video. This week we'll be recapping week 14. Yeah, 14, 4 more weeks of the NFL season to go. Recording this on a Monday, so I won't be covering the Monday night games or the Thursday night games. Only be covering the Sunday night or the Sunday games, Sunday slate of games, and we'll just be talking who won, what happened, and what are the implications. So, yep. So let's get started with it. Also, this week I had a horrible week of picks, man. This was not my week for picks. So, I had a bad read on most of these games anyway. So, let's get started. First game we're going to cover is Tampa Bay at Falcons. And if you look just at the box scores, you would think the Falcons have won this game. Desmond Ritter threw for over 300 passing yards. He had his fair share of turnovers. Did throw interceptions. Did throw touchdowns. As for the rushing, Bijan Robinson, he still not getting a ton of carries. He only got 10 carries. Algier got 9, so they're still splitting the carries there. For receiving, Drake London had a massive game. 10 catches, 172 yards. Good for him. Bijan Robinson had 5 for 54. Kyle Pitts, he caught a touchdown. He's alive and well. There we go. As for the Bucs side, Baker Mayfield completed less than 50% of his passes. Went for 14 for 29, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rashad White had a good game, 102 yards total. Um, and he also went 2 for 33 in the receiving aspect. Not a lot going on. Mike Evans kind of got shut down. 1 catch to 8 yards. He was having a good season. It's quite weird to see him have this kind of game. But the overall implication of this game was huge because now that the Bucs beat the Falcons at on the road, the Bucs lead the division in the NFC South. Three-way tie. All top three teams are 6-7 now. Bucs, I guess they have the tiebreaker. I'm not sure what the tiebreaker is exactly, but they're on top there now. Go for the Bucs. Crappy division, but anyways, it's a good win for the Bucs. Falcons, I think they were winning the first half until they got that safety, but what really costed the Falcons was the 2 missed field goals from Young Koku. Uncharacteristic on his part. Those 2 missed kicks are more than what he missed all season. So, very uncharacteristic of him. So, good win for the Bucs, and that was a tough loss for the Falcons. They were 3-0 in the division, so we'll see what happens with them. Next game, we have the Lions at the Bears, and these teams played against each other. I think it was like 3 weeks ago, a few weeks ago, and it was kind of a similar situation. The Bears had the early lead, had the big lead early, and when they started heading to the fourth quarter, Lions scored like 14 unanswered points or something like that. Took the lead at the end, but this game was completely opposite. Lions got the lead, held on to the lead, and stayed with the lead. One thing to take away from this game is the Bears' defense stepped up massively. They are not known for their defense, especially this season, but they came away with 2 interceptions, especially off of Goff, and 4 sacks, which is huge. Goff isn't one to turn the ball over a ton, but as of late, he has been turning the ball over a bit, which is a concerning part for the Lions because you don't want to be getting cold towards the end of the season. You want to be warming up, preparing for the playoffs. So they better figure out something quick because this Bears team, they've been on a roll. Watch out for them. They're making some noise now. They are on a 2-game win streak, I believe. Maybe 3. I think there's 2. But Justin Fields, ever since Justin Fields' back, has been turning over this team. He had a touchdown in the air and on the ground. DJ Moore also has 1 receiving and rushing. Justin Fields led the team in rushing, and he came out with 223 yards passing. So the offense is finally starting to find its groove. Put 28 points on the Lions. The Lions' defense can be concerning. How did they allow 28 points for this Bears team? And the offense couldn't figure out anything as they only put up 13 points in this game. So as far as playoff implications, not really much. The Lions still lead the division. There's no real threat for the Lions in the division right now, maybe besides the Packers. But other than that, the Bears, they're moving. They're 5-8 now. I guess they could be in the hunt, but I don't see it. Well, let's see. Who are the Bears playing the rest of the season? So they got 4 games left, and they're going to finish the season against the Browns, Cardinals, Falcons, and Packers. So I see 3 of the 4 games are winnable. They can probably finish the season 8-9 if that would be a good season, good result for them. So yeah, watch out for the Bears, man. They can make some noise. Next, we got the Colts at Bengals, and for a team that's been known for playing well on the road in the Colts, they are only 5-2 on the road, including this loss to the Bengals. Uh, they didn't play all that great. The Bengals able to, the defense really stepped up here for the Bengals. And the other part for the Bengals, Jay Browning, man, he's stepping up big time for the Bengals since Joe Burrow has been out for the season, injured his wrist. He went 18 for 24, 275 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Did throw a pick, but it didn't really matter in this game. They were up huge. Mixon and Brown are good 1-2 combo there. Mixon for 79 yards rushing. Chase Brown had finished the game with 3 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown. Led the team in receiving. T. Higgins, he played a big part as well. 2 catches, 72 yards. Joe Mixon, 3 catches, 46 yards. They really leaned into the running back and receiving game here. In passing game, I mean. As for the Colts, defense couldn't really stop Jake Brown or pretty much slow him down. They kept scoring on all quarters. They got down early 14-0. They were able to tie it up by halftime, 14-14. Gardner Minshew, he got sacked 3 times. Jake Brown had a clean game, didn't get touched. Minshew threw for 240, threw a touchdown interception. Zach Moss couldn't get it going on the ground, only averaged 2.2 yards per carry on 13 carries. And yeah, that was pretty much the tail of the tape here. Watch out for the Bengals. They're making some moves for the wild card. The AFC wild card is tight right now. I think there's like 8 teams competing for it right now. Crazy. As of now, I think the Colts are still in there maybe, and the Bengals are still in the hunt. But watch out for this Bengals team. They've been on a tear since Jake Brown has been playing. He's been killing it. He's been clean. Colts, the offense is solid, but the defense got to step up as well. So we'll see what happens. It'll be an interesting playoff race here. Next game we have the Jags at Browns, and this game was a lot. It wasn't really as close as the score indicates, but it was a great game. Trevor Lawrence went 28 for 50, had 50 pass attempts. They went down early in the game, threw for 257 yards. First of all, this is incredible. Trevor Lawrence played at all. I didn't think he had no chance of playing, but he toughed it out. He was able to play. Threw 3 touchdowns, but also threw 3 picks. Got sacked 4 times. The difference maker here was the Browns' defense. They were just making plays left and right, man. Yeah, they allowed 27 points, but 13 of them was like in the last quarter where Browns were up big, man. Travis Etienne only averaged 2.5 yards a carry. Did score though. Evan Ingram had a big game. 11 catches for 95 yards, 2 touchdowns. Joe Flacco has been leading this team pretty well. Over 300 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, did throw a pick. Jerome Ford had the majority of the carries here, averages 4.3 yards a carry. Kareem Hunt only averaged 2.7 on 10 carries. Njoku also had a good game, 6 catches, 91 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Browns are a dangerous team. That defense is really carrying them right now. Joe Flacco has been the better quarterback of all the options they had so far this season besides Deshaun Watson. But this Browns team, they can go far. Watch out for them. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know if they can go far with Joe Flacco, but that defense is probably the best in the league. It's been really helping on this team. They were 8-5 right now. They're leading the wild card race. I don't think they'll catch up to the Ravens, but they're up there. There's a good chance that all the AFC North team makes it to the wild card. So that'll be insane. The Jags are 8-5, still leading the division. Not much to worry about. I think the rest of the division lost as well. The Titans play tonight, but they play the Dolphins, so they're most likely lose. So the whole division might lose. So not a big deal here for the Jags. Who else in the division? Well, they might be the 4th seed. I think they're almost a lock for the 4th seed here. So surprisingly, they were undefeated on the road, but now they're 5-1. So that means the other 4 losses came at home. Funny enough. So yeah, there you had it. There's the Jags and Browns. Browns defense is nasty. Joe Flacco is able to move the ball with his offense. So watch out for the Browns. Next, we have the Panthers at Saints. Another crapshoot game from the NFC South. Panthers only put up 6 points. The Saints put up 28. It was pretty much a beatdown. The Panthers, they had a lot of opportunities to score, but they just kept giving the ball over, man. Or just missing opportunities. Bryce Young didn't really have any help. You know, he didn't really have much time to throw. There was at one point he went 3-16. He finished the game 13 out of 36 when completing a third of his pass. No, not a third. A little bit over a third of his passes. Only finished with 137 passing yards, averaging 3.8 yards per attempt, or completion yards per completion. It's pretty bad. It's not looking good for the Panthers, man. 1-12. They can't win this game. I don't know if there's another game they can win. They might just finish the season with one loss. Bryce Young got sacked 4 times, lost 38 yards on those. Chuba Hubbard is the kind of saving grace here of this team. 23 carries for 87 yards. Miles Sanders had 10 carries for 74 yards, so he was being productive. He was kind of efficient with his carries. As far as receiving, the only real receiving threat on this team is Adam Thielen. 5 catches for 74 yards. Everyone else is struggling to get open or making catches. On the other side, Derek Carr, he had a decent game. Finished with 119 yards. He's pretty clean with it. Two touchdowns. Did throw a pick. Got sacked once. And the offense didn't even have to do much to win this game, honestly. The defense is what has been carrying this team. But there has been some dysfunction going on with that team. I did see the video of, I think it was Cesar Ruiz getting on Derek Carr for taking a sack. I'm not sure the reason for that, but yeah, it hasn't been the smoothest of season for the Saints. So, Saints are tied for first in the division. Panthers are eliminated from playoffs, and any hopes of winning the division yeah, they might secure that 1 seed, and they don't even have that pick. So, good luck, Panthers fans. Next, we have the Texans at Jets, and this one really surprised me. The Jets went back with Zach Wilson at quarterback, and apparently he's the answer now for the Jets. At halftime, it was 0-0, but the second half, the Jets somehow was able to put up 30 points on the board, which is insane. Zach Wilson only missed, 9 passes, went 27 for 36, 300 yards passing, 2 tutties. He got sacked 4 times, too. Breece Hall, 10 carries, 40 yards. Other than that, Garrett Wilson had a good game. 9 catches, 108. Breece Hall, 8 catches for 86 yards. Man, what went wrong with the Texans here? That's the question. Nico Collins went down early. He got taken away by the MetLife Stadium turf monster. They got him. That's unfortunate. CJ Stroud might have got a concussion as well. CJ Stroud did not have a great game. 10 for 23, 91 yards. Looks like when Nico Collins was out, he went out. They were struggling to get open, the receivers. And it's been a good season for the Texans, but they lost Hank Dell. Now, what's his name? Nico Collins. He got injured. How are the receiver depth in that team? That's something we're gonna figure out the next few weeks. And we gotta protect your franchise guy, CJ Stroud. They're gonna be competing for a wild card spot. This was a big game because if they won this game, they would have been in the wild card picture, and the rest of the teams in the hunt would be 7-6. They would have been 8-5 with the Browns. So it's a huge loss. Devin Singletary he had 5 yards to carry, and he got a touchdown. So it was a good day for Singletary. Pierce has been getting less carries. Singletary's been taking over the carries for this team, and as far as the Jets defense has been carrying this team, man. They're the best part of this team. But I can't really say they carried this game because Zach Wilson put up 30 points in the second half. But still, there was only 1 turnover here, but the Jets defense was able to limit the Texans offense completely, only shutting them down to 6 points. So good on the Jets. They sit at 5-8 overall. Texans go to 7-6. They're still in the hunt. Jets not really in the hunt, but let's see who they got the rest of the season. If they win out, maybe they have a chance. They got 4 games, so they can maybe finish 9-8 and sneak in. But I highly doubt it. They got the Dolphins next week. That'll be a tough game already, and they also play the Browns. But I can definitely see them winning against the Commanders and Patriots. So I can definitely see them finishing 7-10. So there you have it. Next game, we got the Rams at Ravens. This was a thriller. This game was 31-31 at end of regular time. Went to OT, and the Ravens got a huge punt return for a touchdown to win the game. Huge game here by the Ravens, man. The Rams are no joke, though. They are a dangerous team. They've been heating up, and I watch out for them to make the wild card spot for the NFC side. So we'll see what happens there. In terms of the box scores, Matthew Stafford finished the game with 294 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Pretty good game by him, especially on his Ravens defense. Kyron Williams finished with 114 rushing yards. Sean McVay is definitely heating up this offense. Matt Stafford got sacked twice. They could improve that whole line a bit, but not really a big issue right now. Cooper Kupp, 8 catches, 115 yards, a tutty. Puka, 5 catches, 84 yards. Good game by the passing game. That was definitely a strength today. But the Ravens, man, Lamar Jackson, he finished the game with 316 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1, he did throw a pick, got sacked twice, led the team in rushing, 11 carries, 70 yards. Keenan Mitchell, pretty effective with his carries too, 9 carries, 54 yards. And yeah, just the Ravens were able to find success in this game. Good teams find a way to win. Ravens found a way to win. Good win for the Ravens. They sit at the number 1 spot right now, but I'm pretty sure if the Dolphins win tonight, the Dolphins will take that 1 spot again. So the Ravens, they'll be fighting for that 1 spot, competing with the Dolphins. The Chiefs are unlikely. Looks like it's unlikely for them, but we'll get to that later. The Rams, out of curiosity, I'm going to see who the Rams play the rest of the season. They sit at 6-7 right now. They'll be sitting behind a couple of teams, I believe, for the wild card spot. But just checking out who they play the rest of the season here real quick. Commanders, Saints, Giants, and Niners. They could easily go 3-1. And if the Niners sit out their starters, potentially 4-0. So I can definitely see the Rams sitting at 10-7 or even 9-8, which might be good enough to stick in the wild card spot. So keep an eye out for those Rams, man. The defense for the Rams, they'll have 37 points, but I don't want to say they're bad. Can't really name a player on that defense right now besides Aaron Donald, but still. I guess it's been pretty good for that, but kind of cost them this game, so we'll see. Next, we got the game of the week. That was the Vikings at Raiders. We almost had it. We almost had a 0-0 overtime. I was dying to see that. But the Vikings ended up pulling away 3-0 against the Raiders. That's such a weird score to see. That's a soccer score right there. But Vikings, towards the end of the game, was able to get in a field goal range and get the field goal up. Joshua Dobbs, no longer the Pastronaut, more like the Astronaut. But Nick Mullins took his spot. He got benched, which is unfortunate because they traded for him. So it looks like they'll be moving on with Nick Mullins, or maybe start Joshua. No. They were contemplating taking him out this week, so they probably go with Nick Mullins. Aiden O'Connell, 21 completions, 32 attempts, 171 passing yards. Did throw a pick, got sacked 4 times. Dobbs got sacked 5 times, so both defense stepped up here. Both these defenses are underrated, by the way. But the Vikings is the one that, was enough to win this game. Max Crosby had a good game. 2 sacks from Max Crosby. That's, he's a great player, Max Crosby. I love him. He's been a difference maker for this Raiders team. But it's not enough. Vikings now sit at 7-6. Raiders sit at 5-8. Raiders not really compete, not in the hunt. I doubt they'll make it. Aiden O'Connell's not the answer for that team, so they're probably looking for a quarterback during the draft or during the off season. As for the Vikings, they got to figure out their answer at quarterback. They don't even know who their quarterback is going to be, so it'll be an interesting season. They are most likely in the wild card spot, I believe. But yeah, I don't know if they'll make it though. They were like heating up there in the middle of the season, but now as of late they've been cooling down. So it's tough look if you're a Viking fan. Next, we got the Seahawks at 49ers. And surprisingly, Geno Smith was out for this game, so Drew Lock had to step in. He finished the game with 269 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Started off well, but then the 49ers eventually took over. Drew Lock did throw 2 interceptions, got sacked 4 times. Purdy, pretty efficient with the ball. 19 for 27, 368 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, did have a pick. And also got sacked 3 times. He got sacked 3 times. Not also. But as for the rushing attack, Zach Charbonnet had majority of the carries, 9 carries for 44 yards. Kenneth Walker had 8 for 21. So defense for the 49ers definitely stepped up here and limited the rushing attack. Christian McCaffrey went 16 for 145 yards. Did he get his touchdown in this game? No, he didn't get his touchdown in this game. That is unfortunate. But he had a big game. Deebo Samuel also had a big game. 7 catches, 149 yards, and a touchdown. He's been on a tear the last 2 weeks. Ayuk also had 6 catches for 126 yards. Tyler Lockett had a good game. DK Metcalf got ejected. He's always trying to always trying to find something. He's always trying to throw his hands. He's just trying to stand on business, man. You know what I mean? But 49ers, they move up to 10-3. They're the number 1 team in the NFC right now. Seahawks fall to 6-7, and they're just trying to fight their way in the wild card spot right now. Next, we got the Bills at Chiefs, and boy, oh boy, the Chiefs are on a losing streak, I think. Yeah, they lost last week and lost this week. They're 4-3 at home. Now they sit at 8-5. Big controversial call in this game was the wide receiver, Kadarius Toney. He was offsides, lined up offsides, and he's been the source of a lot of problems for this Chiefs team. Dropped a lot of passes this season. I think he dropped like 21 to 22 passes this year for the Chiefs. And he cost them the game-winning touchdown. Like, come on, man. This guy's been making a ton of mistakes. But we'll see he'll rebound. This is the Chiefs, man. They're a good team. You got Patrick Mahomes, so they'll definitely make the playoffs. And well, I don't know if they'll win the division now. They're 1 game, or the Broncos are 1 game behind the Chiefs, and the Chiefs is not it right now. Patrick Mahomes finished with 271 passing yards. Got heated at the refs for that call. The rushing attack, they averaged 4.6 yards a carry. Not much going. Only had 82 rushing yards. For the receiving, it was Travis Kelce leading the team and Rashee Rice. Those are the only 2 big receiving options right now for the Chiefs. As for the Bills, though, they definitely found success with the rushing attack. I thought they could have run more. They had a lot. The run game was working a lot for them. The Chiefs also had a lot of players out as well. Isaiah Pacheco didn't play. Drew Tranquill, who's a big piece in the defense, who was missing. Josh Allen, bro, he was on once today. He completed barely over 50%, but he was definitely a difference maker, making plays left and right. Had 233 passing yards. Did throw a touchdown. Did throw a pick. Got sacked 3 times. But he made some crazy throws. He did like a little fadeaway, little lob. And he was a big play for, I think it was James Cook or Kincaid or one of those guys. But Stephon Diggs, he kind of got shut down. The Chiefs' secondary, it's pretty strong secondary. Only allowed him 4 catches for 24 yards. James Cook was leading the team in rushing and receiving. He was a difference maker here. So I thought they could have ran the ball more, but it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, they won the game. So the Bills now sit at 7-6, tied with a whole bunch of teams for the wild card spot. We'll see what happens. Just to take a look at the Bills' rest of the season schedule, they got 4 more games left, and it's against who? They got the Cowboys. That's pretty tough. Chargers, Patriots, and Dolphins. I think they'll win 2 of the 4. Finish 9-8. 9-8. They could also win 3 as well. I don't think they'll beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys are pretty strong right now. Best case scenario, I'll say is 10-7. Worst case, 9-8. I don't think they lose to the Patriots or the Chargers. So, yeah, the Bills are likely to make the wild card spot. They'll be a dangerous team to face in the wild card round. So we'll see what happens there. It'll be interesting. The playoffs this year is heating up. It's going to be a good one this year. So that was a good game. Unfortunate loss for the Chiefs. The Chiefs has been digressing slowly throughout the season, but we'll see if they can heat up at the right time. So there you go.
Maybe it's an arrow at the bottom. Why would you do that?
Next, you got the Broncos at Chargers. Now the Broncos ran away with this one, 24-7. Justin Herbert, I believe, fractured his finger, so I don't know what the timeline for that is for him to come back. But not a good look for the Chargers, man. They dropped to 5-8 this year. Eckler had 5.1 yards to carry on 10 carries and a touchdown. Quinn Johnson, he led the team in receiving, 3 catches, 91 yards. Keenan had 6 for 68. But this offense is struggling. The defense is struggling to get stops. Russell Wilson was able to cook today, or yesterday. 224 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Did throw a pick, got sacked twice. The Broncos defense has been the difference maker for them this season. The second half of the season, they were able to get an interception and 6 sacks this game. So huge on them. The Broncos defense definitely their strength this year. They were able to turn things around, which is insane because they did allow 70 points to the Dolphins in the beginning of the season, but since then they've been on a tear. I'm just gonna look at I'm gonna see how many points they've been allowing the last few games. It hasn't been a ton. I think this Broncos team will definitely make the wild cards. They're definitely good enough, but the AFC wild card race is gonna be crazy. I'm gonna have to make a separate video for that. But the last few games they won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the last 7 games. Wow. And on that, they allowed 17, allowed 9, 22, 20, 12, 17, 7. Okay, so they allowed a bit, but the 22 was from the Bills, 20 from the Vikings, and so, yeah. So, defense is definitely stepping up. Watch out for the Broncos. They'll be a contender for the wild card spot. Not really a contender for Super Bowl, I don't think, yet, but they've been heating up. They've been getting hot at the right time. Next, we had a big NFC East showdown with the Eagles at Cowboys. This was a very interesting game. Cowboys are 7-0 at home. That's something to take a note of, because that's crazy. They sit at 10-3. Eagles sit at 10-3. Cowboys are in the lead for the division right now. The Cowboys went up to number 2 overall in the NFC. Eagles went down to number 5 in the wild card rounds for the playoff wise. This Cowboys defense has been able to kind of like shut down the Eagles offense a bit. I want to say shut down because they kind of did get shut down. AJ Brown did get 94 yards. Devontae Smith got 73 yards receiving, respectively. But this defense is making plays left and right. Caused Devontae Smith to fumble a few times. Those were costly turnovers. Every time the Eagles got close to scoring, something just happened, man. They'll just turn the ball over, whether it be Jalen Hurts fumbling or Devontae Smith fumbling as well. So the Cowboys defense definitely stepped up. Stephon Gilmore made some plays. Darren Bland made some plays, and just this whole defense is making plays left and right. So I'm really hyping up this Cowboys defense. It was a great performance this Sunday night. Jalen Hurts only had 197 passing yards. He only got sacked once, but they did cause a couple of fumbles there. They had some success in the run game. Had 106 total rushing yards. DeAndre Swift led the team with 39. Receiving, they only had 4 guys catching the ball for the Eagles side. As far as the Cowboys offense, Dak Prescott, I think this game made him the front runner for MVP this year. He's been playing clean ball as of late. No turnovers here from him. Did throw 2 touchdowns. Pollard led the team in rushing, 59. Jake Ferguson, he led the team in receiving with 5 catches, 72 yards. Ferguson stepping up as a big receiving threat for this team. Watch out for the Cowboys. They're heating up at the right time. So they're probably a dangerous team right now. As long as along with the 49ers. But yeah, an interesting thing is though, if the Eagles and the Cowboys both win out the rest of the season, the Eagles would take the division, I believe. I think I saw that. They were talking about that last night. But the Eagles definitely have the easier schedule the rest of the season. I think it'll be easy for them to win out. As far as the Cowboys, who do they play? I know they play the Bills next week. They got the Dolphins, they got the Lions, and got the Commanders. So 3 playoff teams right there. And then the Commanders. They're the Commanders. The Eagles, they got to play the Giants again. I think they also have to play. No, they don't play the Commanders again. I didn't take a look at their schedule. They got 4 games remaining. I know one of them is the Giants. And they're still first in the NFC East. They still lead the East. I'm tripping. No, No, the Cowboys are leading the East. What the heck? ESPN is saying that Eagles are leading the East, but I could have sworn. Yeah. Dallas is leading the East, and then Philly's second. Okay. Eagles got Seahawks, Giants, Cardinals, and then Giants again. So that's probably the easiest remaining schedule you can have. Seahawks might cause some trouble, but Giants and Cardinals, not really. So there you have it. So that concludes the recap for this week. Thank you guys for watching. The season is, I think, only 4 more games in the regular season. College bowl games should be starting soon, so we'll start covering that soon. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more content. Appreciate you guys. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more content. Catch you next time, guys. Peace.